Welcome to the 1981 season launch. We are here at the handling circuit. As you can see, if I just sort of flow here, the handling circuit here for automation, and we have the 1981 cars all ready for their final practice. We'll quickly just go through them all. So we have Porsche, obviously winning last season, gets the number one on their car. I believe Porsche won last season. It's going to be pretty bad if they didn't. No, they didn't. So, whoops. I don't know why Porsche have the number one, but McLaren needs the number one, not Porsche. Anyway, then we have the Fife Racing car number 5, representing Fife Racing. McLaren number 4, which should actually be number 1. BMW has gone a new look this season with this blue BMW. Volvo have also gone a different look with this turquoisey sort of colour. Then we got Renault keeping a similar, exact same car, few upgrades. Toyota exact same car, and First has a brand new car also. This car's only just been submitted, so we'll have to see how it goes. But I guess we should get underway for our 20-minute practice session. So let's get going. Send Porsche away. That's not good. Send the Fife Racing car away. Send the McLaren away in a second. Right about now. BMW will be next to head off. Then next to be this new Volvo. Same car, but different front end. Renault's got the exact same car. Slightly different paint job. Doesn't look all that much different though. Toyota, the exact same car. Suspension is a little bit different. They've got slightly different brakes than last season. That's pretty much it. And then this Philip Hamilton engineering race car is completely new. So we'll have to see how that one goes as well. This is the Porsche out in front. Porsche obviously confident that they're going to win this season with the number 1 on their car. McLaren actually won last season, which means that the McLaren actually deserves the number 1. All new BMW. New setup for Volvo as well. And slightly different for the Toyota also. Brand new car for Fife Racing. Have to see how this car goes. Appears to be going not too bad. Have to see if it can catch the Porsche and if it can get away from the McLaren. And this all new First racing car. It hasn't spun yet. So that's a good start. None of these cars have spun on the opening few corners. As we can see, Porsche is getting away again. Already completed its first lap. So McLaren will now come through to complete its first lap. McLaren, first car with a turbo. Looks like the Volvo is very, very quickly catching the BMW. Definitely catching. Renault's completed its first lap. Toyota now is going to come across to complete its first lap. And Phil has completed first lap as well. We're going to watch this battle, and it looks like the BMW's gone around. Volvo's gone past. It's doing some rally work to get back going, but now it's heading in the wrong direction, and BMW is out. Everyone's still going alright. Looks like the Volvo's got damage on that front left. It's going to have to retire the car. Unfortunately. Going to park it up here. Damage to the front left after hitting the BMW. So Volvo and BMW are out. Fife Racing completes second lap. And I think the McLaren might be closing in on this small track. So Fife Racing car is much faster on the streets of Italy track. And this first car is, I mean, it's going alright. This is the first time it's been out, first laps it's done. It's got a 5.3 litre V12. Watch it through the dip. Goes through the dip nicely and out the other side. Doesn't really look like he's catching the Toyota. Now I'll quickly tabble back through the cars. So let's have a look where the cars are at. So let's see. There's Porsche, Fife Racing, McLaren. Then you got to go all the way back here to find Renault, Toyota, and Phil. So I don't know, it's hard to say. These three look like they're quite evenly matched. Porsche looks like it's miles faster than anyone. And McLaren is probably slightly catching Fife Racing car here at the handling circuit because it's a very small track. Lots of torque does help. Especially this thing with the turbo. Acceleration is just phenomenal. So tomorrow's race we'll be using virtual qualifying. We'll see all the teams' cars. So obviously in practice there's only one car per team. Tomorrow we'll see all the cars, but it will be virtual qualifying, so there won't be a qualifying. We'll just use the automation lap times. And then we're going to run 5 laps around this place, so hopefully it should be a fairly interesting race. Sort of a lonely old practice session at the back. Actually, I think it is catching the Toyota. The Toyota's just there, so I have to see how it goes, see if it can catch the Toyota and get past it. Once again, Porsche is absolutely flying away from the field. McLaren slowly closing in. So it actually looks like Phil's sort of dropped off a little bit in the sort of middle half of the track. Maybe not. I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell. I wish there was splits that I could tell how close the cars were to each other, but unfortunately I can't. Yeah, Phil's new car seems to be going alright. Obviously, no faults whatsoever from Porsche. Yeah, and the McLaren is definitely getting close to the back of the Fife Racing car. You can see there through the mid corner, it's gained so much speed. Renault's having a decent race here at the handling circuit. As is Toyota. I say race, it's really a practice session. Gap staying about the same from Toyota to Phil. This gap from the McLaren to Fife Racing is definitely closed. Cross back to watching Phil for a little bit more. Watch from the driver view a lap of the handling circuit from the first number 92 car. So we come down through turn 1 is a dip, and then up into the left-hander, which turned into a sweeper with turn 3, and turn 4 just here. Turn 5's a big sweeper back the other way. Yeah, 50k is the slowest speed we get through here. It drops to 44 there. Down a little bit of a dip again, and then up and around to the left. See, Toyota's just there, not really getting away, not really being caught at all. Then we come in for another sweeper past the lake on the left. There is actually a lake there. See? Another series of left-hand corners here. Might just set the replay going just in case we miss anything while this is going on. Down another bit of a dip and around to the right. Then we come up over a little bit of a rise, and then we've got a right and then a slow left. 27k an hour around that corner. Then we've got like the longest straight, over a bit of a rise, bit of wheel spin, and then down through into the left. And another right before another left. See the Volvo parked up on the left hand side here. So corner goes around for another double right-hander. Then this is a fast left-hander. For another short straight. We go right and then around to another big sweeping left for the final corner before back to the main straight. And then back onto the main straight and across the start finish line where it says crest, and then down into the dip once again. Let's check on the battle here. Currently for second, you'd have to say that the McLaren is the second fastest car on the track. So let's have a look at the gaps once again. I'm just going to pause it so I can find the cars. So here's the Porsche. And we're going to go all the way back here to find Fife Racing and the McLaren. And we're going to go all the way back to here to find the Renault. And then Toyota and first. So you'd have to say at this point in time, fastest car, Renault, second fastest, McLaren, third fastest, Fife Racing. Then, I don't know why I said Renault. Why did I say Renault? Porsche, McLaren, Fife Racing, Renault, Phil, and then Toyota. It's probably the slowest out of all the running cars. It's just starting to get really close now. We got 5 more minutes remaining in this session. Might just open this gap back out again, as it is only practice. So that's good for McLaren. Good start to, I guess, the race weekend. No, they got a fast car, faster than Fife Racing. This gap between Phil and Toyota sort of just sitting back a little bit. Sort of started to catch its start, then hasn't really closed up a whole lot more. This Porsche, once again, is super quick. Starts off the best way by just absolutely driving away from the field. So I dropped the McLaren back so there was no incident between the McLaren and the Fife Racing car. You can see now the gaps open back up again. Otherwise it probably would have been a crash. This Renault is actually going quite well. We saw at the Streets of Italy it was slow, got T-boned by the Porsche, but here it seems fast, it seems really quick. And by looking at this, looks like it'll go well tomorrow. Toyota seems to have held its own against oncoming pressure from first. Fife Racing car seems a little bit slow here. I don't know if that's because the track's small or or what, but the McLaren definitely caught up to the back of it, which isn't fantastic news for tomorrow. However, driven away from the rest of the field, third fastest go to Fife Racing car. And this little car, this little first car, sort of started to gain a little bit at the start on the Toyota, then hasn't really made much more ground since then. Be interesting to see where it sits, as its virtual qualifying time is actually quite fast. And there'll actually be 2 first racing cars tomorrow, not just the one like we saw last season. So Porsche will get one more lap in. We got 2 minutes left in the session. One minute to go. Final minute of the session. Quite surprised about this Renault car. Actually, the Renault has fuel injection. It's the first car to go away from a carby and go to fuel injection. What else is there? Toyota, it's got different front brakes. Thing stops really, really well. Same as the first car. The Fife Racing car has soft compound tyres. The first car's got different front brakes. That's really the only thing that's majorly different with it. Porsche's got everything. It's got double overhead cam. This thing makes 240 kilowatt. And the McLaren has a turbo, so... But that is end of the session. So the Toyota will come around and complete its lap. And the first car will also complete its lap. Porsche comes across the line, completes its lap. And then we just have 3 more cars to go. Fife Racing car will complete session. When I get to the McLaren, McLaren comes across the line to complete its session. That just means the final car left to complete is the Renault. So there we have it. The 1981 final preseason practice has finished. Fastest car goes to Porsche. Second fastest, McLaren. Third, Fife Racing. Fourth, Renault. Fifth, I'm going to give to first. And Toyota gets sixth. The 2 DNFs are Volvo and BMW. And that concludes things here. Catch you tomorrow for the race.